I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm Dean. This is River After AJ. We're coming at you with Season 6, Episode 36, The Blair Witch Project. We're talking 19th century hillbillies. It's a deliverance episode, but without the pig squealing. For additional content, find us on Patreon, Instagram, and pointsopressure.com.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
We did it. Second Spooktober episode, third episode into the month.
Yeah, there we go.
I've also confirmed tonight. Every year we do a live stream for Halloween, for Spooktober. I've got it confirmed. We need to figure out the date for it. It's either the day before or the day before Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Because Halloween's on Tuesday. So, like, Sunday night would work, or we could do Monday, whatever. We'll talk about it. We'll let you guys know. That is also the episode for the following week.
Yeah.
That's just uncut live stream. So, I've got it confirmed. Sweet Tea will be in studio.
Sweet.
So, that's good. It'll probably devolve, like last year's, into just talking and nothing really spooky.
Fair. I mean, to be fair, last year I came entirely unprepared for it. So.
That's all right. It was fun still.
But yeah, I'll have some spooky stories. So yeah, like you said, we'll have next week's episode normal. We'll have a live stream on like Saturday or Sunday, and then we'll have that will be Monday's episode on I think it's the 30th.
Yeah.
So
perfect. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Sweet Tea hasn't been in studio for a minute.
Since the last one, yeah.
Yeah.
Since the last
fucking
Halloween episode. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it's all right. He sucks.
Yeah. We've finally hit a point where we can hold our own and not have to rely on him for episodes.
Yeah, we haven't fucked up quite that badly. You remember when we were like, wow, it's Sunday night and we don't have an episode at all. Neither of us do.
Yeah.
Let's just call Sweet Tea.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was rough. Good episodes though.
Yeah.
So what you been up to? How's your week been?
It's been good. Haven't done much. Just took it easy.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to think what I did. Yeah, nothing exciting. Just
nice.
The usual, hanging out.
The other night, I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre with my wife. She's never seen it.
Oh, okay.
I thought I had seen it. I don't know which one I saw.
You probably saw the one that came out in I think it was 2000.
No, I've definitely seen that one in the 2000s, but I've seen one that definitely was more 70s, but definitely was not the one that I saw. So I don't know if I saw 2 or 3 or one of the weird ones.
On Monday was talking to my boss, and he was like, oh yeah, since it's spooky season, we've been watching scary movies. He's like, so we watched a bunch of scary movies over the weekend. I was like, oh nice. What have you watched? I was like, because I've watched the OGs. We're trying to get my girlfriend back into horror, so we've watched Alien and Evil Dead and
The Thing.
Hellraiser and The Thing. And he was like, oh, those are all OGs. They're so good. And he goes, no, we actually watched, and then he listed 2 A24 films.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, I haven't seen either of those. Fuck yes. So I was like, hey, you should watch Pearl and X.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic movie.
And he was like, oh, they're both incredible. I'm so excited for Maxine. I was
Hell
like, fuck yeah.
Dude, so we got to get this guy over to this basement.
He's a pretty chill dude, honestly.
Oh, that's awesome. I love a lot of A24 movies. So creepy.
I saw a thing today that was A24 finally has A24 announced they finally have the budget to stop doing that emo shit, and they're actually gonna have an explosion in a movie now. I was like, fucking hell.
Oh Jesus. I love it. I love it. Totally fair. Totally accurate. So then after that movie, we started really early. Just because the sun goes down really early right now, so it's really throwing us off. But we then watched Constantine.
Oh yeah,
I've never
haven't watched
seen that
in a
before.
while. It's a good one.
Surprisingly good.
It's
Keanu
very,
Reeves
like-
fighting demons.
Yeah, it's like what, early 40s Keanu, I think, late 30s Keanu. So it's kind of cheesy.
Oh yeah,
It's like just after he finished The Matrix.
yeah. A couple years after
and
Matrix.
so he's still like just. I mean, Keanu's not the greatest actor. He's just good at stunts and fighting and being a badass.
and being nice.
But yeah, so it's kind of in that weird section of his life where you're like, oh, Keanu. It's like it's around the lake house, so you know that it's not during a very good time period for him. But it's still a really good movie.
He did a great job. I love movies where they just throw you in and there's like no background. You're just like, this is the world. Good fucking luck.
Yeah.
And then Tilda Swinton as Archangel Gabriel.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit. Tilda Swinton, if you ever need an ambiguous character where you're not quite sure what's that, and not anthropomorphic. What's the term?
I can't think of it.
Fuck me. What the fuck?
But someone that
that has both male and female
they're supposed to be just a very non-binary.
yeah.
Doesn't matter what they are.
I can't
She
think of
fits
the
it.
word.
I can't think of the word. Androgynous.
Androgynous. That's
There
it.
we
If you
go.
need an androgynous character who's a badass, I love Tilda Swinton in everything. I don't care what she does.
She's good.
She's
She does a
good.
job.
I love it. I love her. She's great. She's got weird eyes in a good way.
She's got a lot of weird things. She's like if you put like a really, really thin, small sheet and stretch it over a skeleton and then just put eyeballs in it, you have Tilda Swinton.
She's great though.
And she has about as much lip as a fucking skeleton too.
And she's
a damn good actress. Dude.
Amazing
She fucking
actor,
kills it.
amazing. And the guy who played Lucifer was just creepy enough. It was good. I enjoyed it. My wife kept falling asleep through it though because it was after 10. You looking up who played Lucifer?
Yeah, because I think let's see.
Lucifer Constantine. He's got those eyes. Wait, was Constantine a DC comic?
It sounds familiar, yes.
That's cool.
Peter Stormare. He's the one that's in Lost Ark. It's the guy that gets, or not Lost Ark, fucking Lost World, the second Jurassic Park movie. He's the one that
is
gets.
that the one where that kid plays a flute or something?
I don't know what.
Or like one kid does like trapeze shit to get away from a dinosaur? Was that?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
that was so shitty. I
Yeah,
remember watching
so
that when I
shitty.
was a kid.
I loved that movie when I was a kid.
That was
But
horrible.
he's the one that gets eaten by all of the little dinosaurs
The little
that
fellas.
follow him, the little tiny ones. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
always a good villain and stuff.
Let's see. Yeah. Good, good movie. Well, if you like weird movies,
Yeah, that's fair.
great movie for the time. Just, it came out, like 2005 or something?
Yeah,
Not good CGI.
that was a bad time for movies. Honestly.
It really was a bad time for movies. It's like the female lead always wears a white shirt and a dark bra and finds herself submerged in water multiple times.
Yeah,
It is weird.
It was when you were just starting to get like.
It was when you first
big-
got your first curiosity boners.
Right. It's like when you just start getting all of the like big Hollywood names, like 2000 to 2010, it's just like big budget film, big Hollywood name, but like none of them are phenomenal actors.
Yeah.
They're just like
Shitty acting
they,
direction.
They look good on screen. Here are their abs. Here are their titties. Not so much ass
They
because
hate
we
each
don't
other,
show
and
asses.
you can feel it in the dialogue.
Yeah, we don't really care about, our dialogue or anything, but we care about explosions and tits.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird time for movies.
It really, really is. But for a movie in that time period, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It was
no, I
fun.
mean,
It's a very fun movie.
There's some gems in there. You're just not
Yeah.
going to find them on big budget movies.
Yeah. So, that was fun. We're getting in the spooky season. Finally put up all the Halloween decor.
Oh, yeah, not bad.
Oh, just waiting for that next paycheck. You know how it is. Yeah. Gotta clock into the coal factory. Yeah. All right. I suppose we should start the episode,
Yeah,
though.
maybe. Now that our movie podcast is over
Yeah.
for the week.
Dude, I think we should do a movie podcast that nobody could listen
will
to.
not do another podcast with you.
Wow.
I won't do another
asshole.
podcast. I fucking hate content creation.
See,
this is ass.
I do it a
as hell
lot
for
now.
me.
And I've gotten around to actually really enjoying it because I'm doing my YouTube channel too, and like, it keeps me off drugs and off the streets.
That's fair. I prefer drugs.
Yeah, same though. But you got to do what you got to do.
That's fair.
Also, if we were to do a movie podcast, there would be drugs involved. Obviously, it would be D and AJ watches Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 on LSD. D and AJ watch Interstellar on mushrooms.
That one would be a lot.
Yeah, that would be a lot to handle, but
Flip those and it would be a solid combo.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre on mushrooms.
That sounds
and then
horrible.
Interstellar on LSD.
That sounds much better. All right, so I've decided I'll probably forget by the next time I do an episode. God, starting off strong.
Yeah, damn.
So most of this comes from a book that was published in 1894 called An Authenticated History of the Bell Witch by Martin V. Ingram.
Okay.
Other sources include...
Me.
Yeah, me. I made it up. It came to me in a dream. It was
Other sources include Reddit user.
Yeah, exactly. No, the book was published with a manuscript and family notes from people who were in this situation, in this event that I'm going to be talking about. But it was only published under the condition that all of the immediate family members of a man called John Bell Sr. were dead. And that finally happened in late 1893, and they found a publisher in 1894.
Okay.
John's grandson, J. Allen Bell, gave Martin his father's manuscript and the family notes that had been collected around the 1840s. That's where a lot of this information comes from. Allegedly.
I'm not going to question you on this
I'm
one.
blowing a hole in this case. No.
I'm going to let you do your thing because it's Spooktober, and I won't shit on the ghosts. I won't shit on, I won't bring up the science.
No,
You do
I
your
bring
thing.
up the science.
Okay.
A little bit. So
I won't shit on it, I promise.
just not too much.
No, I won't at all.
You got to make it scary.
Yeah,
Shit on it.
That's
in
what
a
I mean.
Scary way.
I'm not going to be like, oh, well, technically, maybe it was just him seeing
It was the
things.
wind.
Yeah, based on the fact that he had schizophrenia, there's a good chance that he was just seeing it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
fuck! You just that's the whole episode.
God damn it.
Renowned schizophrenic John Bell.
Oh, fuck.
Shit. No, so we've talked about the 19th century in regards to spiritualism and mysticism, seances and shit like that.
Yeah.
We've done multiple episodes from this time period, even talking about, the women using seances and spiritualism to gain more rights within America. So it's kind of in this time period. It's early on in this time period that I talked about whatever episode that was. How women use ghosts to get their rights or something. It was a terribly
Yeah.
titled episode.
It was a good one.
But it was a fun one. So, in this time period, we've briefly touched on it, but you got Abraham Lincoln
Yeah.
and his wife Mary Todd, I think.
Sure.
Who were allegedly into this shit. There's some fun stories about Abraham Lincoln seeing himself come out of a mirror or something like that. I didn't look at the story.
What?
Yeah. There are stories. I have no idea how
Maybe
true they are.
Maybe I'll do that shit next week. I'll just
that would
look
be
into
cool.
what the fuck.
Dude.
Because I will tell you, and sorry to continue
Wow.
derailing you. I fucking hate trying to figure out scary episode shit.
It's so tough.
It's like, for you, I'm sure it's not hard because you're like, oh yeah, search this. My problem is I'm like, I don't fucking even
you don't know the keywords.
Where to look. Yeah. Like now I can find stuff easy for an episode. If it's like last minute, I'm like, oh, type. Okay, cool. Last week was a perfect example of that. But yeah, I fucking struggle trying to find scary stuff. I'm like, oh God.
The Lincolns would be a good episode.
Yeah, so for those of you listening, don't fucking read about it.
Yeah.
Don't spoil yourself for my episode next week. But I'm not even going to do it.
All right.
I'm going to do something different next week.
Yeah, totally different. That's great. No, Mary Todd definitely, led some seances, tried to contact her then dead husband.
You're taking my content.
That was literally the only sentence I had about it, which is great. I almost did an episode on, what's his name? Henry something. He was...
Kissinger.
Yeah. No, God, what an episode. No, it was a guy who was there when Lincoln got assassinated. He's the guy who fought Booth and got stabbed by him.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Henry Ford Sr.
Henry Ruthbone or something like that.
Henry Rothschild.
Yeah. No, he got stabbed. I'm going to give you basically the episode that I was going to do first just because it came up. So yeah, he got stabbed by John Wilkes Booth after trying to restrain him. And then Booth escaped. And then he was there with his fiance. They ended up getting married, and his entire life he's trying to get into like politics and shit like that. But he always blames himself for not preventing the assassination.
God damn.
His entire life, and to the point where he starts going insane. He starts hallucinating. I'm pretty sure his fiance's dress got splattered in Lincoln blood.
Jesus.
And she didn't want to throw it away, so she sealed it in the wall behind their closet. And then after that, he started hearing voices coming from the walls saying, you could have prevented Lincoln from dying. Why didn't you stop him? Why didn't you do this? To the point where he freaked out, shot his wife, tried to stab his children, got restrained by the cops, and spent the rest of his life in an asylum.
Still would have been a better president than 45.
Hell yeah. He should have been president. I believe if you are the nearest person to the president when they get assassinated,
you should be the president.
You should become the president because their spirit leaks out and goes into you.
God damn.
But yeah, I almost did that episode. And then I was like, fuck, this is like 2 people have talked about this, and there's like 4 paragraphs on Wikipedia. There's like nothing to this.
Huh.
So I'm going to add a little context to the story. We've talked about this every spooky season. I think most paranormal activity, is caused by some type of trickster type thing. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it. That's how I, set it up in my brain. Just something fucking around. Mm-hmm. If you look at it like that, it's a lot more fun and less terrifying too.
Duh.
They play on your emotions. They like to cause a ruckus. And that's not to say there aren't other things out there. That's just the things I think are most often the culprit. And if you like this kind of spooky stuff, or you need to write an episode about this spooky stuff for next week.
Keywords to search might be.
I do note similarities from other cases and things like that, so you can read up on them on your own. But don't do the ones that Dee's going to use. He won't tell you what they are, so you just got to guess.
Yeah.
So 1817, John Bell Sr. is a hillbilly farmer in Robertson County, Tennessee. I assume he's a hillbilly because it's Tennessee in 1817. Lived a quiet life with his...
Because it's the U.S. in 1817.
Yeah. He lives a quiet life with his family along the Red River. First side note, a ton of these poltergeist-esque stories happen near water or running water. We even had... either last year or the year before, when I was talking about that Dark Sacrament book, the Possession book that I bring up every once in a while.
Yeah, you should give one of them. for next week's
I
episode.
think I've done all the good stories in there.
Fucking bitch.
But I've got some Catholic priest names you could look up.
Okay.
And it's a 50-50 shot whether they're an exorcist or a rapist. So
Hey, both are scary.
they're both terrifying. So, but yeah, Running Water, super interesting. In one of those Dark Sacrament books, they actually talk about that. There was a well hidden on one of the properties. I don't know. You probably don't remember it.
Spooky.
It's okay. So one afternoon, John, out on his farm, sees a strange creature. Incest. No. It's a dog with the head of a rabbit. Which is kind of weird.
So it's just a rabbit with short back legs.
No, it's a rabbit with a big body and a small head.
Okay.
And he shot at the creature, and it ran away and disappeared off into the forest or whatever. Or the plains. Is this a plains? Does Tennessee have forests?
I guess it depends in Tennessee. I don't know.
Yeah.
The
trees.
Less,
Let's
the
say
less I
trees.
know about Tennessee,
Yeah.
the better.
All right, so it ran away, which is very similar to how the events of the Skinwalker Ranch started. It began with a weird big wolf getting shot at and running away and not being affected by the gun. But for 1817 Tennessee, I'm guessing those guns weren't too accurate.
Yeah, I was about to say, homie just
He probably
missed.
missed, yeah.
I haven't missed a shot in 40 years.
Hold on, I gotta
I haven't
pour
missed
the...
a shot since the revolution 41 years ago.
So his son Drew also saw a huge bird sitting on a fence post. He approaches it. It
With
flies
the head
away.
of a rabbit?
With the head, no, just a huge bird, which you know, like a Thunderbird stories. Those are a good episode.
Could have been a flamingo. It's a
Could have
big
been,
bird.
yeah, in Tennessee, definitely. That is a big bird.
Oh, so you're not going to dispute the fact that it was a dog with the head of a rabbit.
Yeah, but
but you're
you're
going to
gonna
dispute the fact that
It
it
was
couldn't
a-
have been something that does exist.
Yeah,
Fuck out of here.
doesn't exist in Tennessee. So
You know what else doesn't exist in Tennessee? Dogs with rabbit heads,
that's
bro.
not true. John saw one. Right there, evidence. So Betsy, who's John's daughter, saw a girl in a green dress swinging from the limb of an oak tree.
Okay, did they specify on the bird, though? Or they just said, oh, it's just a big
It just looked like a big ass bird, and then it flew away before he could get close.
Huh.
I assume it's like a raven, but 4 feet across.
My God, dude. Like a vulture-sized raven.
Fuck yeah.
Jesus.
That would be awesome.
Speaking of ravens and Edgar Allan Poe, have you watched Fall of the House of Usher?
No. It's on the list.
You guys need to watch it.
Hell yeah. All right, we'll watch it this
Continue,
week.
sorry, yeah.
We'll watch it this week. So, Betsy thought that was pretty weird, that there's a lady and a girl in a green dress swinging on some branches. Goes to approach her. Disappears.
She flies away, too.
Flies away?
She shot at her, and
She
the
shot
bullet
at her.
didn't hit her,
Didn't
and
hit her, and then she flew
too.
away. And then, also, this isn't happening all in the same day. This is slow ramping up.
Oh, okay.
Dean, their slave,
Oh,
reported that when he was allowed to go visit his wife, who was probably on a different property, he reported that a huge black dog would follow him home in the evening
Wow,
times.
wasn't a white dog.
I knew you were gonna fucking say that. I knew it. Yeah, so he thought that was pretty weird.
Sorry, what did the dog do? I was queuing up that
I
joke
know.
for a minute.
It would follow him home. Like he would turn around and there would just be a big black dog there.
Are there any? Because I know that they have like the whole thing with black cats are like bad luck. Mm-hmm. Is there anything with black dogs? Are
There's
like
so much more about black dogs than there are about black
Really?
cats. Black cats seem to be a much more modern thing. In terms of their like bad luck. Black dogs are in every poltergeist story, every haunted house story from before 1900.
Yeah, they're in a ton of the Harry Potter books.
Yeah. Yeah, pre-1900 Harry Potter books. And okay, they are if you do want like a
That's my episode
An
next
episode
week.
next
Black
week?
dogs. That's what it's going to be
You could.
called.
you would have enough content. There are stories of black dogs, in every region of the world. Like,
It's just going to be called Black Pit Bulls.
please do
It's
not.
going to be a very divisive episode.
Yeah, very. We're doing it from the point of view of an Englishman too, of an English.
Of anyone in London.
Yeah, any asshole in London. So, black dogs are very interesting. They're worth looking at, and noting when you hear about one. And yeah, this all happened over probably a couple of weeks, and it slowly seemed to kind of ramp up. Weeks and months pass, and you start hearing, or the family started hearing knocking from the walls and the doors. They go answer the door, no one's there. Woo! The weirder things is like knocking from the floor, and there's nothing underneath the floor.
Places where people couldn't be.
From inside the flue for the fireplace, they would hear knocking from just weird ass places. And they were like, okay, that's fucking weird, but it's 1817.
Yeah.
We got to get this crop in, or we will literally starve to death.
Oof.
And every once in a while, people start waking up to the sound of dogs fighting, which is a horrific noise if you've heard dogs like actually fighting. Horrific noise. So they'll just wake up in the middle of the night and hear dogs fighting. And then like Lucy, the mom, would hear what sounded like a dog chewing on a bone on her bed.
It's her husband jacking off.
Yeah. Gnawing on a bone.
Yeah. Grinding his teeth and jerking it.
They also started to hear a chain and something heavy being dragged across the floor. And they'd just be like eating dinner.
Shh, conk.
And
Conk.
and they just look over, and everybody's just at dinner.
Yeah,
Sitting at the table, and they're just looking over like, what the fuck?
Pyramid Head walks through the kitchen.
Yeah, that's the vibe I was starting to get. And then if there was a room that was empty, they would hear animal noises like clawing or breathing or
Meow, meow.
shit like that. Definitely the meow meow. Then they go into the room and no one's in there, and they're like, that's weird. Guess I gotta go bring in the sugar beet crop.
That's strange.
This was a really weird detail at this point. John's a healthy for living in Tennessee at any time period.
Oh, God.
Healthy guy. He starts losing control of his mouth in a type of paralysis.
Oh, I was like what? He's
more racist than
he's
before.
more racist towards his slaves than he's ever been.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, he
who would've
starts
thought?
paralysis. So
I see.
hard time eating, sometimes can't talk, and it kind of comes and goes. And then at this point,
Was his wife glad he finally shut the
yeah,
fuck up?
100%. At this point, when the kids were sleeping, they would have their sheets pulled off of them in the middle of the night, which is horrific. If that has happened to me once in my life, I never want it to happen to me again.
I'm going to come do it to you.
Do not. I have a loaded gun next to my bed.
No.
I will.
In all honesty,
I will mag dump you with my hollow
the
points.
last person that I would ever make any attempt to scare, other than like yelling at you while you're doing yard work, is you and your wife. Because know
of my wife.
That like, even if I snuck out of the room, if I did it and then like scurried down the hallway, you guys would be like, it was a fucking ghost, and I wouldn't have the heart to tell you that it was me.
No.
Even if I did, you guys would be like, bullshit, we know that it was a ghost that did it.
No,
Yeah. I could never.
You could never get away with it.
I would feel so fucking guilty.
It would
doing any of that,
terrify
yeah.
my wife.
Oh yeah. Oh, like it's
good
one where
God.
like it would just fucking. It would be a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah, and I think you're wrong for that.
So don't cross me. I'm just
Don't
kidding.
fucking cross me. No, and I think you're wrong. I will find any excuse to say it's not a ghost, because if it was a ghost, that's more terrifying than a homeless man sneaking into my room and tickling my feet. For some reason,
God,
a
why
ghost
are my
is more
toes
scary.
so wet this
Yeah.
morning?
Oh, the ghosts! There's a beard hair left on my wet toe. It's a ghost. So yeah, the whole bed sheets, pulled off of them at night, terrifying. And then you kind of get a lot of the very common poltergeist-esque events start to happen.
They're
The
looking-
activity
they're looking at
focuses.
the static in the TV.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
1917 and
The activity really starts to focus on Betsy, which is super common. It's puberty-aged children, especially women, who tend to have the most
mental problems.
activity around them.
Oh, my bad.
And then, we talk about my belief and experience that nothing paranormal can happen if it can be entirely ruled out and proven. And I think that goes into the role where if you hear, spooky shit is happening, you hear spooky shit is happening, and it's all around this 13-year-old girl who really doesn't want to be a farmer for the rest of her life, you automatically think, she's doing it. She's making it up because her life is boring and shitty. That everybody,
I mean,
that's a common
wouldn't
thing.
say that specifically.
But I'm pretty close. And that's the thing it could be fake because of that. So anybody hearing the story around town would just be able to just dismiss it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes it so easy to be skeptical.
Yeah.
So
I take the easy way out, okay?
exactly.
Don't judge me for that.
No, that's just how it is. And that's despite the fact that things would happen when she's asleep, when she's not even at the house, when she is just sitting at the dinner table. They're like, it's got to be her.
No, it's when she says she's not at the house, but really she snuck under the back deck.
Yeah.
She's tormenting the family.
She dug a Vietnam hole under the house.
So it happened once every 28 days for some reason.
Yeah,
Stuff would
it's
come
really
up.
weird.
Bloody footprints wherever. We don't know why.
It's terrifying. But yeah, it just makes it really easy to discount it without having to think, which plays into the phenomena itself. Why would it ever want to be proven? That's ridiculous. So Betsy begins to get slapped. And pinched, hair pulled. She would be poked. She would just be like, ow, what the fuck? And there would just be a pin in her.
Oh, I thought you were saying
Arm.
like her parents were
No,
like,
no,
stop it. And they would like
Out of nowhere,
fucking
she'd
slap
be-
her and
she'd
punch
be
her and shit.
eating
I thought
dinner.
you were going like the child abuse route.
No,
I was like,
Evil
Jesus.
Dead. Go the Evil Dead route. She's
Okay.
eating dinner and just go, slap.
Oh,
Getting the shit kicked out of her. Or like, doing her, I don't know, cross-stitching. I don't know what people did during this time period and at that age. And then her hair would just be yanked. Like a handful of it.
Jesus.
And people saw it, and they start freaking out more and more as it becomes more physical and violent. And they introduce their friend James Johnston for help.
Reverend James Jones.
Reverend? No, he's not a reverend. He's probably another hick.
Yeah.
Farmhand James Johnston, probably. I don't know. He was a family friend. So he comes over, and he's like, okay, you're crazy, but I'll stay with you for a few days, see if anything happens.
Oh, that's weird.
I mean, I guess.
How old is he?
An adult, I guess.
He's like, I'll sleep in your room.
I'll
and keep
sleep
an eye on
in
you.
Betsy's room.
Yeah,
and
this is
keep
going
an eye
to
on
go
you.
well.
The very first night he stays there,
Oh, no.
he starts hearing like bumps and weird noises and shit like that. And he was able to see the family just like, I mean, at this point, they've got to be tired and like, Jesus fucking Christ, can I go to sleep without having my sheets ripped off of me, without hearing dogs fighting in the other room?
The next morning at breakfast, he wakes up and he's like, wow, did you guys hear somebody having sex with a 13-year-old last night? That was
whoa.
crazy. Oh, God.
That was insane. It was definitely a ghost.
That was just wild. So, quick question. If your daughter turned up pregnant, would you make her marry the guy that got her pregnant? God,
What if she
dude.
didn't know?
Fuck the 1800s.
So he starts hearing weird stuff, and of course, typical James, he talks to John the next day and says that what he experienced was a spirit, just like in the Bible.
James read one Goosebumps book in his life
Yeah.
and was like, I'm
This
one
is
of
it.
them scary experts.
This is it. I'm a scary expert. I like that.
That's what he would have called it in
He
Tennessee.
would have. You're right. So he starts doing what James does best, the old gossip.
Oh,
He starts
no.
spreading their story in the nearest town.
What a piece of shit, dude.
And people start to travel to their farm
What?
to see if they can get in on some of that spirit action.
I forgot that it was like such a weird wave of like,
Yeah.
I need to see a ghost.
And it's 1817, so anytime two people from the nearby town roll on in, they say, okay, you can sleep in the barn, here's dinner, And it starts financially weighing on the family because they have to keep
Because they're feeding so
people.
many people.
Because so many people start showing
Damn,
up.
dude, make people fucking pay to spend the night. Shit.
It's 1817. That's bad manners. It's almost the South.
In fucking Tennessee.
Yeah.
No, it is the South.
Yeah, it's up there. It's in the middle, isn't it?
I
consider it the
Tennessee the South. And I'm sure there are plenty
Definitely.
of people there that also consider themselves the
Yeah,
South.
probably.
I'm sure there are a lot
The
that
Lemoyne
don't.
Raiders.
I'm sure there are a lot that are trying really hard to not be the South anymore. But
Yeah. There are plenty of people really holding on to that.
So much you could do.
So the more and more people who came to visit them, the more and more the activity started to ramp up, which is just making it worse now because they're also... I mean, they were already poor.
Yeah, the wife's making like a fucking 6-course meal every single night.
Yeah.
On top of that,
For 20 people.
she's being
and then she's
haunted
getting her hair
every
pulled
night.
all the time, every night, but not in the way that she wants her hair to be pulled every
dude.
night. But they start hearing voices.
I guarantee that they had guests that they were like, I asked for my steak, goddamn, medium rare.
This is
Fucking throwing it on the ground.
I asked for a
manners.
medium rare. This is
rare.
rare.
No manners from the people in the fucking
Oh,
house.
no, of course not. It's Tennessee.
God, the real tragedy is the mother of this
Oh,
family.
yeah.
God damn, dude.
So they start hearing voices, kind of like a TV on quietly in another room. They obviously didn't have TV. This is a
Fucking-
metaphor.
Okay,
A
pores.
metaphor.
I have a TV.
Yeah, right.
How that everyone
Anybody
had
can have
one.
a fucking TV. They're
Ever
cheap.
seen Back to the Future? They had them. When
Yeah.
it goes back to
Back
not the future.
to the future. Wait. So they start hearing like little indecipherable voices. I also hate it when the TV is left on in the other room and I'm trying to do something in another room. It is terrifying.
They can just hear Tucker Carlson in the other room.
Oh,
They're like, oh,
100%.
God.
It's Mitch McConnell and Tucker Carlson.
No, they hear Mitch McConnell. They just hear,
Yeah. You know what face he's making. You know it. If you know what he looks like.
oh, God.
If you know Mitch McConnell. So they start hearing voices, and one random ass visitor that they allowed into their home with their 13-year-old daughter.
Jesus Christ.
Among the other children, I think they have a 6-year-old son and then some older teenage children.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's the only
they
daughter.
have a farm and a slave, so they've got
Yeah.
a big family.
So one visitor's like, "Who are you and what do you want?"
Jesus, that was good.
And that was pretty good, right? And they and some of the family members who were present at the time heard a little voice say, "I am a spirit. I was once very happy, but have been disturbed." I don't know what a spirit sounds like.
You should not do that voice because it takes away from how spooky this could have been.
I am a spirit. No, I don't know. I can't do voices. I was once very happy.
Make it
but have
German.
been
It'll be
disturbed.
way spookier. You're good.
No. I've made too many mistakes
Okay,
when you
so-
say make it German and then I say something wrong.
Fucking spit out all of Mein Kampf.
Yeah, I just start from memory. So they were like, "What the fuck? You've been disturbed? What does that mean?" And it didn't answer and blah, blah, blah. So it has these events where, they'll have new people almost every day. They're trying to get their regular work done. But the old Southern hospitality means they're not kicking these people out. They're also not making them work. So it's just like, all right, put on a pot of stew. I guess we'll kill another of Betsy's cows.
Slaughter it and get another fucking sacrificial lamb.
Yep. And at one point, so one of the visitors like, "What's your name?" or something. And the voice says that they're Old Kate Batts Witch. Kate Batts is a name. Kate Batts.
Okay, yeah.
And they're like, "What?
Who the hell is Kate Batts?"
Nobody knows, no record. But the voices started to respond more when referred to as Kate. So they would say, "Kate, what are you doing here?" They'd be like, "I was disturbed," or something. I assume the ghost has like a southern drawl,
Yeah,
like a rich...
It's like one of those rich fucking Alabama families.
Yeah. Almost a transatlantic accent.
I'm Kate of the Bat family.
Kate Batts, old witch.
You built your
There we go.
home on top of our land.
Interestingly enough, they were asked, what do you mean by you were disturbed? And it says, there was a Native American burial mound nearby.
I was about to fucking
This is
make a joke about
probably
it.
the origin of that trope. As far as I can tell, this is the origin of the
first.
disturbed Native American burial ground.
Okay, so Kate Bat was a Native American?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They couldn't find any Native American artifacts where they said the burial mound was, which plays into that kind of trickstery shit. Because then, as soon as they got called out, they change their story, and they turn one of the kids into Joseph Smith. He says that one of the kids' name was Drew, so Drew and one of the friends were sent on a search for treasure. See, it wasn't.
Oh no!
It wasn't the Native American burial mound. It was actually a treasure that was disturbed.
Oh God!
So they go on this wild goose
Pirates
chase.
in Tennessee.
Yeah, Vikings, Egyptian Vikings.
God damn it!
So they go on a wild goose chase, dig up plenty of holes around the property, never find shit, of course.
No.
Which, here's another thing. Here's another one of those things that you hear in so many of these stories. Doesn't matter if it's hauntings, abductees, Bigfoot, whatever it is, the story always culminates in there's a treasure here. Yeah. The answer to all of life's secrets. Buried gold. Bigfoot bones. Whatever it is, it's right here. I'm telling you right where it is. And then they go to that area. It's obviously not there. They go back, get in contact with whatever it is, and it says, oh no, sorry, that was the wrong spot, or something. And it becomes this, at this point, it either...
One of their visitors was a ventriloquist shovel salesman.
Yeah, 100%. But so many of these paranormal stories end with a wild goose chase because the person just gets fed up with it and says, I'm fucking done. You've ruined my life, and now I don't even get anything at the end of it.
Yeah.
Or they go further into the delusion, and it goes completely... they completely trust whatever's happening, no matter how many times it has been disproven.
Yeah. They can't write a book about it because they're from Tennessee, so they're illiterate.
Well, these guys, yeah. But it's David Icke. I always shit on David Icke. He's a UFO guy. It's the same thing. He's totally into the point of delusion at this, where he's being manipulated. Yeah, exactly. So I just think it's really interesting that goes into this story.
Yeah.
And this story is well before many of the well-known stories that have this kind of ending to it. But this isn't the ending. So then the voice, this is the best. I want one of these voices now. It starts discussing biblical texts to the point of debate.
What?
It starts starting conversations. They turn down the lights, do a little seance type thing. The voice comes through, and they start
Baptist Church, Jesus,
discussing biblical texts for debate with the other people. I'm like, wow, you are so much fun at parties.
They all just sit down and they're like, move the spoon if you are here. And the spoon moves, and all they say is, so the reason that Jesus wept was because... And it just gets into this whole fucking thing.
Did you know that abortions are mentioned in the Bible?
God.
No, it's not that
Technically
progressive.
Speaking, God never said that that a man couldn't lay with another man. It's like...
Hell yeah.
And all of a sudden the Tennessee people...
They burn down the
like,
house.
You son of a bitch!
Get the fuck out of my house!
This is a goddamn demon. It's a straight up devil.
It's Lucifer!
God.
Beelzebub. There's nothing better than names for Satan with a southern accent.
Beelzebub.
So, one weird thing that did happen is it was either a friend of the family or something like that was at a sermon, going to church, and in the house, the voice starts giving a sermon.
Was it the same sermon?
And it was the same sermon 13 miles away, given at the same time.
Damn, dude, they had a walkie-talkie back then?
Yeah, right?
That's crazy.
13-mile walkie-talkie? You can't get that from Amazon. You got to register that with the FAA. And then my favorite part, the voice starts sharing petty gossip from nearby homesteads.
What the fuck? Okay, this is 100%. They have a visitor that's showing up all the time that's just a ventriloquist that keeps his mouth closed. He never says anything during the seances, but for some reason, it's the same voice, and this guy's always there, and he's just like,
No, but the weird thing is they would be like,
that's fucking crazy.
they'd be like,
though.
what's an 1817 woman's name besides
Catherine.
Betsy?
Catherine
over there, over yonder,
Magdalene
is her daughter Magdalene got knocked up by the butcher's son.
by James Johnson.
Yeah, James Johnston. So then they would go to the house that's referenced and say, "Hey, did you guys just do this?" And they would be like, "What the fuck are you? How did you know that I'm still in up here?"
Fuck?
Like it was able to be confirmed. Some of the gossip.
Okay, so Kate Batts is it Batts? What's her last name, or is it Kate Bat?
Bat
Okay, so Kate Bat
is a gossipy bitch.
had to have been like she volunteered time at the local Lutheran church because that gave her an in to listen in on the confessionals, and she would just gossip all that shit around town.
Hell yeah.
That's the first place you go when you start getting like ghost gossip. You go, okay, let's go to all the churches, see
Figure
if
this
anybody
shit out.
recognizes
Yeah,
the name
right.
Kate Bat.
Yeah. Did a Kate Bat die here recently?
Yeah, I had a secretary that was Kate Bat. I always got after her for listening on confessional.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
was always peeping through the holes when I was touching the altar boys.
Yeah. That's why we burned her at the stake. We called her a fucking witch and convinced the local constable to burn her at the stake because she caught me diddling the boys.
The Bell Witch.
Yeah. So, James Johnston's son, John Johnston.
No.
I'm so sorry. His name is John
No.
Johnston. He wanted to, he'd heard the story from his father and from the town. It was a big event. So he wanted to come up with a test to test the witch. And the son wasn't very close to the family.
Yeah.
Not as close as James was. So also they started calling it a witch. Just by nowadays we'd say poltergeist.
Oh, okay.
They just called this thing, oh, it must be a witch.
What the fuck?
I mean, maybe the term poltergeist didn't exist yet.
No,
I
you
don't
would
know.
think that they would just still be like,
Ghost,
spirit. Ghost.
No, but they started calling it a witch. So he went to the house. John Johnston went to the house.
Well, you stuttered there. What's his name? Johnston.
John
what?
Johnston. So he asked the old Kate Bat. Sorry.
Stupid fucking name. God damn it.
He asked old Kate what his step-grandmother would say to her slaves if she thought they did something wrong.
Oh, my God.
And
It's the most Tennessee fucking story ever. This is what he uses to catch it in a lie. He's like, okay, what'd my grandmother say to our slaves when they fucked up, huh?
yeah.
And the ghost just yells the N-word, and he's like, damn, she was
She
right.
figured it out. No, he did it because the Bell family did not know anything about his grandmother.
Yeah.
She lived in a different state. They've never talked about it.
That's fair.
They don't know that.
It makes sense to ask a question that only
Exactly.
you and grandma would know.
Exactly. So it's something that the family who this is happening to would not know. Because he's trying to rule out that it's just Betsy ventriloquist.
He goes in and he's like, how many times did I let the dog fuck me in the ass yesterday? And everyone looks at him. He's like, only I'm going to know the answer.
Well, me and the dog.
God.
So the voice responds in a Dutch accent. Hut tut. I can't do a Dutch accent.
What?
I can't do a
What
Dutch
did it
accent.
say? Don't do the
It
accent.
said, hut tut, what happened now? Because it's an old bitch. So, hut tut, what's happened now? See? She's a
What's up,
gangster.
Doc?
Why'd I switch to gangster Bugs Bunny? But the trickery was they didn't know that she was a first-generation Dutch immigrant. Because none of the Johnstons had a Dutch accent.
The ghost answers and he goes, oh, shit, is that what she'd say? I could never figure it out.
Yeah.
He just walks out of the room. So was it right?
It was right.
Whoa.
Whoa. so the Johnstons were like, okay, yeah.
Kate
believe
Bat,
you.
world explorer.
I wouldn't call it the world. She lived in North Carolina.
I'm just saying, Kate Bat clearly knows Dutch.
Accents.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I see it. Here's another random event. Throughout this whole time, the family is strained to its absolute limits and are psychologically being destroyed
Oh, yeah.
because of everything that's happening, terrified to even sleep in your own bed.
They can't pay their own fucking mortgage. Like,
What mortgage?
yeah. Like, I mean, they can't pay for anything.
Yeah. So
Oof.
an Englishman arrives. He's passing through town
Oh,
to get
so
to a more...
He's smart. He's got one of those
exactly.
smart guy voices. He's got to know something.
Yeah, so he shows up just passing through, and he says, Allah. No, I'm not going to do an accent yet. I'll do one later. It'll make sense. But he basically says, I'm a bit skeptical. I'll investigate for you.
Blimey, you got a fucking ghost in your house, do ya?
Oi! So he, starts talking. He's spending the evening getting a free meal out of it, by the way.
Fuck everybody in this story.
This is my favorite thing is all of these people are getting free food. I'm sure 80% of these people were just homeless people getting food.
Of course.
So he starts talking about his family back in England. He's over for a
Who
trip
cares?
or
Solve
something.
the fucking ghost mystery, bro.
Well, the voice starts to talk when he's talking about his family, and the voice goes, "Oi, bruv!" I don't know. The voice basically mimics his parents' voices, and it sounds like they're just talking, like having a normal evening conversation. So I don't know what they're talking about. Cricket and beans? I don't know what English people talk about.
I don't know, things that other families talk about just with an accent.
Oi! I got my knife!
Why are they Australian? What the fuck are you doing?
I'm saying oi!
I know.
That's English. Oi, bruv! That's English, idiot.
Oh, no.
So he's like, okay, that's fucking weird.
Well, that sounds just like grandma. And it's like, get out of my fucking way,
Yeah.
you stupid cunt.
Exactly. So he's like, okay, that's fucking weird. I'm going to sleep. Fuck you guys. So he goes to sleep, and he's woken up in the middle of the night, and he hears his parents' voices again.
Here's BBC in the other room.
Yeah, BBC. Yeah, fucking BBC on the radio's playing. And he hears his parents' voices, and they're freaking out. They're like, did you just hear John England's voice? Is he here? I thought he was in America, something like that. Basically, they're freaking out that they heard his voice.
Yeah.
And he's hearing their voices.
It's a weird
He's freaked
dream.
out. He leaves the next morning. Probably got fucking free breakfast, too.
Yeah. He's like, I'm on my way out, but could you make some coffee and an entire full English breakfast?
Yeah,
for
dude,
me,
do you have
please?
beans, tomatoes, eggs,
Oh,
toast?
you don't have any pork on hand? Is it okay if you kill one of your pigs
Yeah,
for me
could you
because
go-
because I'm a guest?
Yeah, you better. And a couple months later, they get a letter in the mail. It's like, my parents heard my voice when I was on that day when I was here, and I heard their voice. Sorry for being skeptical. Something like that.
He sent it the moment he got home, and it took 6 months.
Yeah,
to arrive.
yeah, exactly. And he probably charged them for the mail.
He sent an invoice with it.
Yeah. Another one that is probably not true was that Andrew Jackson stopped by and visited them
The president himself.
when he was campaigning, yeah. But there's no evidence that he stopped his presidential campaign. Like, he was on the trail campaigning for presidency
I will
during this
say,
time
though,
period.
of all of the presidents, I believe that Andrew Jackson would do that.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I'm like, maybe he was nearby, because, I mean, he was pretty close on the campaign. Maybe he just took one day.
He's like, hey, look, we're out of campaign funds. There's word in town that there's a family that gives free room and dinner to everyone
Yeah.
that stays.
Let's
This
bring
is
my
gonna
entire
be free
campaign.
as fuck.
Let's bring my...
This will hold us over until we can get more donations.
Yeah. It's part of the campaign. They'll vote for us for sure.
And we know that, like, the two people that can vote in this house are 66% of the votes in Tennessee.
Yeah, you're set. So at this point, it's been it has been almost, let's see, 1, 2, 3 years.
Jesus.
Of this weird harassment, and the family is drained of money and just like everything.
Yeah.
The energy, even. They're just like, ugh. We've had strangers in our house almost every night for 3 years.
Fuck that.
And at this point, the voice starts complimenting the wife a lot.
Oh.
Your cooking's great.
Dope.
You know, like, you're beautiful. And then John Jr., of course, was also getting a little bit complimented, just very respectful.
Jesus, trying to have a three-way with the son and mom?
Yeah. And
oh, wait, no, sorry. John Jr. is John Johnston, right?
No. John Jr.
Okay, I was like,
John
God, dude.
Bell Jr. There are a
Okay,
lot of
John,
Johns in this story because it's Tennessee.
Yeah, a lot of Johns and Betsy's.
Yeah. So the voice also starts to threaten John Sr.
Oh.
And the voice starts calling him Old Jack.
Yeah, fuck the patriarchy, bro.
Yeah. And that's really what it is. A lot of the activity moved from Betsy to Old Jack, and he starts getting harassed like all the time. And then Betsy gets engaged to a local named Joshua Gardner. And the voice
Joshua Johnston.
Joshua Johnston. And the voice gets pissed.
Oh.
It's like, you're engaged to this hoe bag? What the fuck? I'm ad-libbing that. I don't think it ever said that, but
I hope so. I
it
hope
starts
that's
like
word for word.
Yeah, word for word. No, it
crazy.
starts like amping up, slapping the shit out of people, and it gets to the point where if Joshua would come over, he would get harassed. To the point where Betsy calls off the engagement.
Jesus.
And
just marry him and leave the fucking house, Betsy. What the fuck?
It's really weird.
Oh my God, dude.
And over...
Here's an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe when you guys meet up, don't hang out at Betsy's house.
Yeah, at Betsy's 2-room house with 18 kids.
Jesus. Problem-solving skills, not in her fucking...
Definitely.
Like, just...
Not in the wheel.
Not in the
Not in her
talent pool.
wheelhouse.
Nope.
Yeah. So, over and over, the voices are getting really abusive towards John Sr. Like, it starts cursing at him when he enters the room, threatening to kill him, and like, I'm gonna fucking murder you. I will kill you. You're a bitch boy, John Sr. And it really starts to amp up everything again. You know, they would always go through periods where it'll get a lot, and then it'll kind of go away, and then it'll get a lot, and then it'll kind of go away. So at one of these really big crescendos of activity, John Sr. is found sick in his bed.
Uh-oh.
And he's out of it. He's
gonna die.
fucked up. So they call the doctor, and one of his sons, I think it was either Drew or Richard, who we haven't talked about, or John Jr., one of his sons. They found a vial of a strange liquid. There are two reports of this. One was it was just in a cupboard, and one was it was in the flue of the fireplace.
Okay.
I like to imagine it was in the fireplace. Mary Poppins left it there. Mary Poppins himbo left it there.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, oh, there's a strange liquid here. Well, I'm a doctor in Tennessee, so let's feed some to the cat.
Oh, my God. I mean, what fucking testing are they going to do on it
Exactly.
in 1917?
So
Is it poison? Well, let's give it to something that we don't
cat.
eat.
Yeah. So they fed it to the cat. Cat dies. The voice starts saying like, I fed the liquid to John Sr. I put it in his dinner last night, and you didn't even notice, and all this weird shit. John Sr. ends up dying the next day.
No.
Yeah, completely dead.
Damn.
They get... Activity pretty much goes quiet.
Okay.
So they're like, John Sr. My thought was John Sr. was faking it this whole time.
Piece of shit.
And he finally had to kill himself because he was in too deep.
Yeah.
And something his daughter molesting, I don't know.
Jesus.
So during the funeral, it was said, though, that the voice returned, singing drinking songs,
What?
partying it up that
What
John
the
Sr.
fuck?
was dead.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Fuck the patriarchy.
And by
Fuck
1821,
John.
a little bit after the funeral, the voice said,
I'm out.
I'm out. I'm leaving.
Did what I needed to.
I'll come back in 7 years. Figure it out.
Papa's dead. I'm
Yep.
pulling an it. I'll be back in 27 years.
Yeah. So 7 years later, 1828,
New family
Lucy-
lives there. Oh, damn.
is living there still with her sons because, John Sr.'s dead, so they can't really leave.
Mm-hmm.
And the activity starts up again in the same way.
Uh-oh.
Just starts ramping up and stuff. But Lucy, this time, smart Lucy, who probably would have prevented this entire thing from happening if John Sr. wasn't such a controlling asshole, because it's, Tennessee in 1817. She says to her kids, do not engage. Ignore it. Do not engage with it. Do not acknowledge it. Do not do anything.
I was really hoping she would just be like, okay, who do you want us to kill so you go away
Yeah,
for 7
yeah.
years?
And it just kind of fizzled out and didn't come back. And this story is so interesting to the area because since this point, it technically ended in 1828. There are news articles that have been found that reference this story up into the 1890s, but none of them really tell the whole story. They just mention it.
Yeah, they're just like,
They mention the family and the Bell Witch, and they say there was even one guy who tried to use it as a defense. Two guys who murdered somebody and used it as a
and tried to
defense in a
blame it?
trial, and they said, "Oh well, they were. It wasn't actually that guy we were fighting with. It was a witch who was in his body who drove us to kill him." They got acquitted.
innocent.
Yeah, 100% because of this.
Waive all the charges. These boys did nothing. It was the local witch.
It was the witch.
I know it. I know it to be true.
And then,
God
yeah,
damn.
the Martin, who wrote the book on this, got the information from the grandson of John Sr.,
Damn.
and it was all family notes that were assembled in the 1840s, so about 20 years after, and shit like that. And there has been story after story in the entire area that has kind of, I don't know, either it's related to this or maybe it's just a hotspot for weird shit. There are just stories of people, almost urban legend level of stories from this area since this time period. They've never really stopped. There's a cave there that was near the property now.
Jesus.
That in the, I think, really early 1900s started to get a reputation for holding the witch, for having the witch in it. Or like one story of a lady who was, I don't remember, I didn't read the whole story, but basically she was going to go in the cave for some reason and something happened and she got scared, like heard voices or something. And then it turned out that two local fugitives who broke themselves off the chain gang were hiding in there, and they got caught.
I mean,
she would have been
dude,
murdered
if you're not
from
afraid
them.
of, like, if you aren't fucked up by ghosts, that's the perfect place to go hide.
Yeah. And then there was, an early news reporter and his assistant who was like, "I'm going to camp out in the Bell Witch Cave."
With Steve Wallace.
Yes, that would be amazing. And they when they
Stealth
approached
camp in the witch cave.
in the witch cave, that would be a great video. They approach the cave and they hear an unwavering moan coming from inside.
Oh my!
But it's not enough to scare them off. See, they're tough New Yorkers.
No, they hung
tough
around
Yankees.
for all of the other mounds.
So they showed up. They go into one of the rooms, kind of set up a camp. They go back to whatever vehicle they had, get their supplies, bring it in, and as they're going in, they hear like blood-curdling scream, and they run out of there and hire some local people to go in and get their stuff, and they're too scared to stay the night. Like, lots of little stories like this from this area. But yeah, this is the inspiration for like the Blair Witch trials.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
No, it's the Blair Witch Project. That's
Project.
why this
What the
episode is the
fuck?
Bell Witch Project. Jesus.
God, I'm out of it. Blair Witch
Project.
I'm thinking witch trials. But
This is the inspiration for the witch trials that took place
in
100
Blair
years
Witch.
earlier.
And yeah, just weird animals have always been reported. Like my favorite story from this area that has to be 100% true.
It's a flamingo.
A guy was out walking around in this area in the local town nearby, and he's walking around kind of outside of town, kind of near the cave, not really, but kind of. And a rabbit is running down the road or something like that. And he sees a rabbit and he decides to run somewhere. He doesn't say. He just starts to run.
After the rabbit?
No, the rabbit's behind him.
Oh.
So it's like
okay.
he's almost racing the rabbit.
What the fuck? Okay.
And the rabbit keeps pace with him despite him running very fast. And the story was written like the rabbit would run slower than a human, but I'm pretty sure a rabbit is much faster than a person.
Hey, Jay, I think you just read the fucking story of the tortoise and the hare.
Yeah, but it was a man. A hairy man.
He's
his
he's Bigfoot. Bigfoot confirmed.
Yeah, his name was a French version of Harry, Hare.
He's like, that rabbit was able to keep up with me, and the rabbit is like just walking alongside him.
Yeah, walking.
Like,
No,
go
so they're running-
race a fucking rabbit and tell me you're gonna beat it.
So he's running, and then he stops, and he's like catching his breath, and he's like, oh, that was weird that rabbit just kind of stayed with me the whole time. He looks over, the rabbit's still sitting there, and he says in a man's voice,
What's up, Doc?
That was a good, yeah, what's up, Doc? Yeah. No, he's like, that was a good race. And then the rabbit just leaves. That's my favorite story from the area.
Jesus Christ.
But it's definitely like one of those places that, you know, maybe something, there's definitely something to be learned from a story like this, because
Yeah, make the guests fucking pay you.
1817 through 1821, but the story wasn't published till 1894
Okay.
in its entirety, because, you know, the conditions that I mentioned at the beginning. But there's a lot of lorification. Like, the story has obviously been turned into legend
Yeah.
throughout this time period. And, you know, even though most of the notes and the story that the manuscript that this book was based on, it also interviewed some of the people who were still, like, extended relatives.
Yeah.
A lot of the, like, it had been 20 years since the events happened, since the events ended, when most of that information was written down. So there's a lot of opportunity for people to misremember it, especially if they were terrified. So I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I am saying it was probably glorified.
Yeah, something
to an
strange
extent. Something
happened.
strange happened, and the fact that there are consistencies within the story that you see in many, many other stories of similar events, to me says there was something funky happening here. And now it's a legend, and now it's influenced this whole area. And whether, you know, things that have happened since then were caused by just the area has the urban legends, so people are primed for it, or if there is something happening in that area, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Still spooky, yeah.
Yeah.
Still weird.
Still weird.
Something weird happened, man.
Something weird happened. I'm trying to find somebody to do a seance for us. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, good luck.
No, I know. Yeah, no, maybe. I just have to convince them.
Yeah.
I found somebody. I just need to convince them. Not live.
Yeah. I'm just going to
Not
say, I was like,
live.
I don't think it'll happen live. For
But
sure.
I think that would be fun.
Spooky.
Spooky. I think I want to buy I think it would be funny if we did a ghost investigation live on the YouTube, just sitting here in this office while nothing happens and we drink.
Yeah, that's what we'll do for Halloween.
Yeah. That would be great.
We'll yell out to the ghosts every once in a while, and we'll just smoke and drink in here.
Hell yeah. We'll have our laptops and we'll just play COD or something.
Not bad.
We'll play
not
some
bad.
BattleBit.
Yeah. No.
No. We'll play some Rust.
Did you end up getting it?
Oh, I've had it.
Oh,
I've had it for
Are you guys playing it
years.
now?
No.
Oh.
Not at
Well, you got Patreon pulled
all. Oh,
up.
shit. No.
All right.
Stall.
Well, so if you guys are interested in subscribing on Patreon, we do an exclusive episode per month. We have a handful of Sloppy Seconds episodes on there, which are little like 15-minute things. AJ's working on a series called Voices, and there's a video of our studio when it was clean. So if you are interested in subscribing, by all means, go for it. If you can't afford it, no hard feelings. We're just glad that you guys are listening.
All right. Sorry, I'm making sure I have all the things filed, because, yeah.
Huh, you got it.
Oh, I see. I was like, we have one more since last week. It's because we bullied that guy for his card being declined.
That's right. Yeah.
So the chair people, Minnie D and Toddle Waddle, thank you
We
for
appreciate you.
All the support that you guys
Have given
do.
us. We appreciate you
Support.
updating your card information when
Yes.
we yell at you about it.
When we publicly bully you.
But yeah, you guys have done a lot. We really, really do appreciate both of you.
And then, of course, we've got Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Kitty Titties, Thomas, Weston, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, G-Dog, Hayden, Lara Revo, and Lindo. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, you guys are fantastic. We really appreciate you. Oh, shit. Yeah, so if you guys ever have any episode ideas, if you have anything that you'd like to send our way, whether it's memes or recommendations for like movies, books, TV shows, music, really anything, if you just need somebody to talk to, by all means, reach out to us on Instagram at points-o-pressure. Email us at the letters ppdnaj@gmail.com, or go to our website and go to contact us, and we'll catch you guys next week.